Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here with a video of Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Now, normally I am a Cyber Dragon player through and through, but I've been working on this other deck for a friend of mine because I saw the aesthetics, I really liked it, and I really thought I could make something out of it. It's actually my take on the Evil Eye deck. It's really fun, it's very controlly, and it's just a very interesting deck. I was not going to record these games, so I do not have live commentary for you, but I'm going to grace them with some post commentary. It's just these duels came out really well. I got to show off what I had really intended for the deck. So, I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Alright, so in this first game, regardless this deck wants to go first, we're going to have two games here, and in both games we won the rock, paper, scissors and got to go first. We start off with Evil Eye Domain Paradalia, which lets you get a monster search. Normally you would search Evil Eye Sersial, but we already have a Sersial in hand. So, I grabbed Basilisk. The reason I grabbed Basilisk is because Basilisk can special summon itself from hand. So, we summon Sersial. Sersial is going to search Selene, which, you need Selene to really make the deck go. Now, we had two options here. We grabbed the Selene. We could have also grabbed the counter trap negate, but I want to use Evil Eye Awakening a special summon from deck. So I could have summoned the Basilisk off his own effect, which I do, and I could have used Evil Eye Awakening to summon Medusa to get a link, but I didn't want to do that. My favorite card in the Evil Eye archetype is the one I'm actually about to get. It's Evil Eye Counterblast. Counterblast Familiar of the Evil Eye. Sorry. I actually love to abuse this card because of what it can do. It can special summon itself in the graveyard once per turn as long as you have an Evil Eye monster, but afterwards it gets banished. I use it to abuse rank 3s, because if it gets attached as a material, it goes back to the graveyard. You can special summon it back out. And you can do that every turn. Now, I'm going to pause this real quick. Here's where I messed up. I hadn't played this deck in a while, and I kind of forgot what I put in the build. But there is a Union Carrier in there because all the monsters are Dark Fiends. You can make Union Carrier with any two combination of monsters, and because they're all Darks, you can actually attach Dragon Buster Destruction Sword from the deck to any Evil Eye monster and lock your opponent out of the extra deck. I totally spaced that possibility out, so I forgot to do it. Attaching it to Sersial would have been awesome because Selene protects Sersial, and because I summoned Catablast's effect protects Selene, so Selene can't be destroyed next turn anyway. So basically, unless they kaiju my monster, they lose out on their extra deck and have to deal with an invincible monster. But instead, I go into an XYZ play. See, that's why I looked at Union Carrier real quick, because I thought, oh man, I don't want to make Union Carrier and this not be in the deck. That's my mistake. Dante goes really, really good with this deck because of the fact that it's a strong rank 3. And you can actually mill out things you want in your graveyard. Like you mill Selene, doesn't hurt you because you can just special set it from the grave. You mill Gorgiano, you can search any Evil Eye spell trap from the deck. You mill more cats, you can special summon them back out. If you have a Medusa, everything in your graveyard basically comes to second hand because you can add any spell card back or trap card back from the grave. Evil Eye. Also, my version of the deck plays Lost Wind, which if your opponent special summons, you can set Lost Wind from the graveyard. Now see, I milled a second cat. That's why I special summon one out now, so that way next turn I can special summon them again, overlay again, detach one, and now that's ready to go in the following turn. So like this is an ideal setup. The only thing, like I said, I could have done better is I should have went to Union Carrier and got Dragon Buster. But I'm okay with it. Because then I would have got Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, attached it on the Sersial, and then still special summon the cat from the grave. Now this is where we first realize what we're actually playing against. Because I let the Rescue Rabbit, don't do anything to the Rescue Rabbit because he normal summoned it, but he special summons 2 monsters from the deck. Gets to Gladiator Beast and decides to make a Link monster. I don't do anything about them because they're not really my problem right now. my goal is to stop him from making his next play. On the board right now, I only have 2 disruptions, but it's also the fact that I have an invincible monster and a 2500 defense point Dante. So he was going to use Test Panther to add a Gladiator Beast from his deck to his hand, and then send the Gladiator Beast back to deck to special summon from the deck. So I use Lost Wind. I set the Lost Wind from the graveyard because he special summoned, and I chained the Lost Wind I had on the board to stop him from getting a search, and from doing any of his other plays with Test Panther for the rest of the turn. And because I got to set the other Lost Wind, I didn't really lose much because now I have another Lost Wind ready to go as soon as he ends his turn. Now I could have activated Sergio and just killed his monster, but I was just like, I want to stop him from being able to do anything. Right now that monster can't do anything and it's only got 400 attack points. It is no threat to me. Now here's where I decide to do something. For anyone who doesn't know what Evil Eye of Selene does, it makes it so whatever monsters are equipped to cannot be targeted by spell or trap, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. While it's attached to Sergio, Sergio gains the quick effect to destroy a monster. And then Selene's second effect happens. Whenever the monster it's equipped to uses its effect, I take 500 damage and it gains a permanent 500. So even if Selene leaves the board, it still keeps the 500 attack power. Also, Sergio has a second effect, a second half to that effect. The standby phase after you destroy the monster, you have to destroy one of your own cards. Usually the target you want to destroy is Paradalia, because it lets you get a monster back from the grave. I don't decide to use that this time. The reason I decided to use that this time is because the only monster in my grave was Catablast. Cataplast. So I wanted to use Cataplast to special summon itself. If I had another monster in the grave, I could have added it back with Paradalia. Now, I play Pot of Extravagance in this deck because while the extra deck is a nice utility to have, I don't necessarily need it. Especially I don't need all the cards in it. A lot of the cards are in there just as... what's the word I'm looking for? If they're there to use, I'll use them. If they're not there, I don't really need them. So this was me double checking what I had for rank 3 stuff. I still have all my Link monsters. Like that Pot of Extravagance didn't hurt me at all. So now he's gonna special summon himself back out. And then I'm gonna overlay the 2 Cataplasts into a Leviathan Dragon. Now I could have made my Link monsters, but I really didn't need to. Not at this point. I pretty much had the game right there. And now because, again, rank 3, detach. Now because they were XYZ materials, they're brand new cards, so now they can go to the graveyard instead of getting banished. So, and then next turn I can special summon it back out again. Now Medusa gets me an Evil Eye spell or trap card from the grave. Oh, it gets me any Evil Eye card. My mistake. But now I played the field spell back out and I get to get a monster search too. Now, I only play one Basilisk, but seeing this kind of makes me want to play a second one because I could have added Basilisk to hand and then special summoned it from hand and then continued my plays. Just more thoughts for changes in the future. But again, Selene activates because I used an Evil Eye spell. Now we're gonna attach Basilisk, mill 3 more, pump Dante up. That's a very unfortunate mill. Set the Crackdown. I kind of knew I had the game in the bag, hence why I set the Crackdown. But in reality, I could have waited until man phase 2 to set the Crackdown. And then we've got 86 left on top of the damage, the 1,000 damage we just did. So that was how game 1 went. Like I said, it showed off some of the stuff I wanted to show off, reasons why I ran certain cards. The reason why I like Catablast at 3 is because it's such an easy to abuse card, and you really need to make sure you can protect Selene. Being able to protect Selene every turn just makes it really good. As a matter of fact, there's another reason you'll see in the next game why I run that card at 3. To me, it's almost as important as Sergio. Alright, this is the second game. Again, we're going first. This time we did not open Sergio, but we opened up with plenty to make plays with. So, I start off by summoning Catablast. Now, Catablast's effect to protect one of my spell or Evil Eye spell or trap cards doesn't have to be equipped to something else. So I equip the Selene to him, uses effect to protect the Selene, which activates the Selene, giving him an extra 500 attack points. And I can do that every turn, so I can just continuously pump him up. The only downside to Selene is I have to take the 500 life points whenever I do that. Now I play Evil Eye Awakening. I was gonna special summon from deck, but this guy Ash Blossoms it. Though, because I activate an Evil Eye spell, Selene takes another 500 life points, pumps up my monster by another 500. I was a little sad about the Ash Blossom. I could have really gone to some cool plays right there. But now, we set the Lost Wind. I'm not worried about it because we have the Medusa, which means we can get the Evil Eye Awakening back next turn. Now, the only form of disruption I have here is my Lost Wind, but I also have a monster that can't be destroyed. Can't be targeted by effects. The only way for him to get rid of it really realistically would be a Kaiju. So I can afford to take some damage. And this deck doesn't mind taking too much damage because of cards like Gorgiano, because, you know, the difference, and then you can just one-shot your opponent if the difference becomes too big. I also kind of bugged out playing against an Odd Eyes deck. Don't really see many of those around. Now, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Sorry about that. Quick technical difficulty. Now, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is an amazing card as long as you have face-up cards in your extra deck. But to summon it like this was really bad for this player. What in reality he should have done, he should have summoned the level 4 Magician first and then activated Odd Eyes Fusion. By doing this, he has a Vortex Dragon with no protection. If he had actually had monsters face up in his extra deck, then this card would have actually done some serious damage. Now, I could have easily negated his effect now and cut his attack with some, but it only would have lasted until the end of turn. So he could have just ended his turn and been fine. But he decided to attack me. Once he declares the attack, that's when I decide to use Lost Wind to cut his attack points down. I mean, there's no reason to negate his effect because right now he doesn't have an effect because he doesn't have any monsters face up in his extra. But now I kill his monster and take away his advantage. Now, I probably should have went with Medusa. This was me looking through his me looking through his graveyard because I was wondering why he didn't summon the level 4 first and then fuse to make the Odd Eyes Vortex. Now, first thing I do is, again, I put the protection on Selene so Selene can't be destroyed. And then I summon Medusa to get back the Evil Eye Awakening. Unfortunately, this guy changed to my effect with a very unfortunate card. The downside to this whole deck being dark is the fact that you can do things like this. Super Polymerization. And he gets a Starving Venom Dragon. was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. What am I gonna do now? I forgot one major thing about starting Venom Dragon and the fact that when it's destroyed, it destroys all monsters on the board. So I make one misplay, but I'm able to recover from it. So I still get Evil Eye Awakening. He special summoned from the Extract, so I'm gonna set the Lost Wind. Evil Eye Awakening summons a Cerzio from my hand. The reason I decided to summon the Cerzio, though I lose out on his search effect, I do get access to his destruction effect once I set the Selene. Here's where the one thing I messed up on is I summoned Cataplasm now. I should have waited until main phase 2 to summon it. I activate Selene's Graveyard effect, banishing an Evil Eye spell or trap card, banishing Evil Eye Awakening, paying 1,000 life points to set the Selene onto my field, and then I attach the Selene to Cerzio. Things like this, you sometimes have to be a little careful because I already used up a lot of life points with the Catablast effects, and now I have to use more life points to use Cerzio's effect to pop his monster. Now again, I should have waited till main phase 2 because Cerzio can't be destroyed by Starving Venom's effect, but unfortunately Cat does, and it gets banished. Mistakes made for next time, or lesson learned for next time. I'm sorry. Battle phase swinging in. And then that's the end of my turn. Another reason it would have been nice to do is because I also would have had the cat to destroy with Cerzio's effects. I didn't like having to destroy my Lost Wind, but my opponent only having one card made me feel, less gross about it. Because since I set that Lost Wind with its effect, it gets banished. Again, my mistake. This is one thing you do have to be careful about with Evil Eyes, is when you choose to activate their effects, you have to pay life points with Selene. And then on your the next standby phase, on whichever turn is after you use the effect activates, the second half of the effect activates, requiring you to pay another 500 life points for Selene, so you can kill yourself. But now we have Cerzio. I already have Selene, so I'm not going to search another Selene. I am going to search another Awakening, so I can special summon from graveyard or deck, because I have no cards in hand. Once I did this kind of put the nail in the coffin for this game, because I summoned the cat from the deck for protection on my Selene. Again, I used an Evil Eye spell, so another 500 life points, another 500 attack points onto Cerzio, so he's already a big boy, he's 31. This time I tried not to make a misplay. I went to battle phase first to attack, deal damage, because I knew I couldn't kill him this time. So that only would have been 42. A little less than that. Now in main phase 2, I did what I should have done in that first game I showed you guys. I end up linking into Union Carrier and attaching Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to my invincible Cerzio. Basically invincible. And now he's sitting at 41. 41 can't be destroyed, can't be targeted by spells or traps, and Selene can't be destroyed. So it's a pretty solid little combo. That's the game. Like I said, that's a deck I've been working on for a little while. I really like it. It's a very fun control deck for me. It's a little different than most styles I'm used to. And it actually takes a lot of thought to make sure you can maximize on your disruptions. It plays a heavy amount of traps, a decent amount of spells, and a kind of a low amount of monsters. But the monsters are all really, really strong combo pieces. You know, Surgical searches any Evil Eye monster, any Evil Eye card from the deck. Medusa gets any Evil Eye card from the grave. Basilisk and Cat can, you know, especially some of themselves their own ways, be used for Link and XYZ materials. I've seen a lot of people not really run them too much because they want to just use them for Link materials, but I don't know, something about being able to get a monster every turn just was really appealing to me. That's why I went with an XYZ heavy build. I do still play the Evil Eye Link monsters, and when I have the opportunity to go into them, of course I do. One negates its effects, one just destroys any card on the board. But you can't forget that XYZ is still a strong mechanic, especially in Master Rule 2020. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop a like if you did. If you have any questions about the deck, if you have any suggestions about the deck, please drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys on the next one.